Again, I thank our anonymous sponsor for sponsoring this series of classes about the way the world will look before Moshiach comes and the breakdown of society and honor that will exist then. She is sponsored in honor of our campaign, which is going on now, and you can donate it to it by writing to us at dytravis613 at gmail.com. D as in Daniel, Y as in Yaakov, Travis, Travis 613 at gmail.com. For $85 a month, you can sponsor for a year. You can sponsor one break for a month. Sarkis Woolen, and I will daven you 40 days straight at the coast, including Friday Shabbos. I want to finish off here the Mishnah at the end of Sota. We were going backwards, so there's a few things I didn't speak about here. We spoke about it, but this is the general. The Mishnah starts off with the general tone, which is chutzpah yazke, chutzpah. Everything we spoke about how all these close family relationships, parents, children, in-laws, talmidos, everyone, family members, will deteriorate. And this is chutzpah yazke. Chutzpah will be out of control. Yazke is from Lashon of explosion, boundless. It's going to be really, really. For Yoker Yamer, and again, there won't be honor. Yoker is honor. Yamer will be something foreign. It'll be something separate. It won't exist anymore. Now, the next one is very significant. I heard a young man commenting yesterday, right, about the wondrous properties of a certain expensive wine. And it's good to know that the younger generation knows about fine wines, but at the same time, right, the Mishnah says that as we approach the end, and Mashiach is coming, so a geffen titem pirin v'yayin b'yoker. Now, if you ever studied economics, there's a law of supply and demand, right? And the commentators explain here there'll be tons of grapes. There won't be a shortage of grapes and wine, but yayin b'yoker, because this will be people will value. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a wine connoisseur. I have many close friends who are, and I love making on Shabbos the bracha v'tova meitiv. But hagefen titin pirin v'yayin b'yoker, right? It'll be too much, right? It'll be overboard, right? If a person's main value is in wine, and they don't have the other values, which are Torah principles and honor of their parents and their elders and Torah scholars, right? Yoker, we just had Yoker Yamer, honor, right? Yoker will mean that there'll be a transition. The honor that was once given to Torah scholars and to elders and to parents, right, is going to be transferred to wine. Right? That's what they're going to honor. That's considered something really, really important. A fine wine. Right? And again, it's a sign of the times. Hamalchus tepech laminas. The kingship will transfer to minas. Right? Now, in Eretz Yisrael, minas is when you go to the bank and you're a negative. That's called minas. But minas also means apicorsis. It means heresy. Right? At one time in the world, there was a concept of government for the people, by the people, having just society, right? Liberty and justice for all, right? The pursuit of happiness, whatever Reb Revda said, it called Redivas Ataivas. But the idea was that Malchus is divinely orchestrated. The person who is the king is chosen by God for that position, and therefore he's a representative of God in this world. The Gemara in Bracha says that, in fact, that when the king davened, he bowed down and he didn't get up, and this is a sign of his closeness to God. And even amongst the nations of the world, there was the concept of divinely orchestrated majesty, but it's disappearing. Right? It's disappearing. It's tabpach. It's flipping. Right? What was once considered setting the standard for morality and justice in the world is slowly dissipating. One of the things my Rebbe, Rev Israel Auerbach, said when Queen Elizabeth passed away, he said she held values. She represented an era where there was still some sort of values, right? I'm not familiar enough with what Charles is doing today, but um, we could say about Queen Elizabeth that what she represented, the world that she represented, is no longer existent today. And we're seeing the concept of Malchus slowly turning into Minas, and more and more becoming less God oriented. The Ein Tochachos, we mentioned this already, that from a psak, from the Chazon Ish and the Chavetz Chaim, is that nobody's able to give proper reproof today, and the therefore there's no apicorsis today, there's no rishoyim, and therefore you're not allowed to hate them. Almost none. There is still some, but in general. Now, Beis Vad gave Beis Nos. The meeting place for Torah will become a meeting place for Snos. My own pshat on this is that it refers to the internet. There are wonderful shirim on the internet, like the Torah in Time provides for us, and the other uh, exceptional websites. But there's also Snos there. In other words, you have a phenomenon today, which is why some Rabbanim say that you shouldn't pursue shirim on the internet, that a base vad, right, the place where you can find Torah, is also could be a base nos, and therefore should stay away from that. But whatever a person does, he should know that this phenomenon exists today. At the same place where you could find wonderful Torah shirim, which I hope I'm including amongst those of Torah Anytime, you could find snos. Hagalil Yechrav, Hagavel and Yosem, Va'anshei Gvul Yisov me earlier, below Yichanu. We conclude our shirim with this concept: is that there will be war in Eretz Yisrael. We know that that this is going to happen. We have a Masorah for that. All the nations of the world will descend upon Yerushalayim, and they'll try to kill the Moshiach. There's so much discussion and fighting today about Yerushalayim, about Eretz Yisrael. Right? It seems that it's only a matter of time before these words are become actualized. They've already been in the many wars here. We've seen it many times. And there's no stability in Israeli borders, that we can say for sure. Right? Israel is a tiny little country and a tiny place in the world for Jews to live. We're constantly being accused of stealing, of theft of the borders, and of stealing this country from the Palestinians, who in fact have no right at all. There's no such thing as Palestinians. Palestine is a man-made myth. Jews have been living here for thousands of years, and it's clear that this is our country that was given to us by God. Any who believes in the Torah, the Old Testament, knows that. But yet we are persecuted day after day. Rav Yaakov Emden says the biggest miracle is our survival of one nation amongst 70 wolves, one lamb amongst 70 wolves who are being persecuted. So I conclude this series by saying that we should all get together as much as we can to pray and to wipe our hearts clean of the smallest iota of any hatred that's there against any other person. Yeah, I was in a taxi with someone yesterday, and they started bad mouthing non-Jews. I said, "This is not the way you should speak." Mia isha chavetz chaim ovyam liros tov. A person who always sees good in every single person, that's the person who loves life and sees the truth and sees the world in the proper perspective. We should eliminate every iota and speck from our heart of any negative feelings against anybody, except for Rishoyim, which the Chazon Ish and the Chavetz Chaim have told us. There's no Jewish Rishoyim today. We should eliminate any iota and speck of bad feelings. And again, I thank our sponsor of the insurance, Shisha Bracha and Tzlacha, the unanimous sponsor. And whoever wants to dedicate in these final moments, donate, please write to me, dytravis613 at gmail.com. Sponsor a break for 1 month, $85 a month commitment for a year, and I'll daven you for you personally at the coast of 40 days, passionately as I'm able to muster. And I wish everyone bracha and tzlacha And I ask you from the bottom of my heart, please listen to Rav Gershon Edelstein. Please listen to Rav Moshe Sternbach. Please take their word seriously. We're on the threshold of the Gula. As I mentioned in the beginning, from the Medrash and Elam, it's either 209 or 214 years for Gula and Binyan Beis Hamikdash and Tchias HaMesim. We're on the threshold. We're in the 4 to 9 year zone. Yeah, it's coming up. These are auspicious days. Please eliminate Sida from your heart so the Gula will come quickly and we should all be here together at the Beis Hamikdash. Amen.